Hello everyone, this is going to be your psychic or intuitive chart read for the Aries eclipse, the final of the Aries eclipses, and it's occurring on March 29th, 6:58 a.m. Eastern Time, but times will vary depending on your location. It's the last of the series of the Aries and Libra axis eclipses. So we have the eclipses are always in opposite signs, following along with the nodes. And so the node has actually moved into Virgo now. So therefore we're going to start having in Virgo Pisces. But this is the last one of this whole Aries Libra eclipse that we were having, which started back in April of 2023. So it's a wrapping up of a cycle that started back in April of 2023. So it's a dichotomy in a lot of ways because it's an ending, but it's also a new moon. And it's in the sign of Aries, which is all about new beginnings, and it's the first sign of the zodiac. So it is a new beginning because it's a new moon and it's in Aries, but it is ending a cycle. We're putting our foot on a new path. That's what it feels like. You know, we've accomplished this cycle. A lot of it may have to do with just a general sense of ourselves and how we see ourselves and the others. Ourselves and ours in relationship into relationships. The first house is the self, the seventh house is the relationship. Of course, it's going to vary depending on your particular chart, but overall, that is a big theme. And we do have a big lineup in Aries here. We've got Mercury, the sun and moon, which equates to the new moon, Chiron, and then in this particular chart, for the Eastern time, the part of fortune is in there as well. This 9-degree mark too is also where I believe Venus went retrograde or something. This is this key point, or this sort of stopping point that keeps popping up. So if you have anything around 9 degrees in your natal chart, it's going to keep getting reactivated. This is also 1 week after the Aries Ingress. So we had the full moon lunar eclipse on the 14th, 15th, Aries Ingress on the 20th, and then here on the 28th, 29th, we're having the new moon eclipse. And in the midst of all this, also, we have Venus and Mercury both are turning retrogrades. Okay, so just a lot of stop, start, push, pull, go forward, move back. You know, we want to charge forward with this Aries energy, but yet, you know, there's all these planets in retrograde. We want to have this new beginning at the Aries Ingress, which, by the way, at the time of this eclipse, on the 28th, 29th, Mercury is at that 0 Aries point too. So there's just a lot of kind of push-me-pull-you energy going on. We've got all this stuff in Pisces, which is water. We've got all this stuff in Aries, which is fire. So there's all these push-me-pull-you dichotomy, very different energies all stirred up in the same pot. And in a lot of sense, the way they're showing it to me, when I said pot, they're showing me like a soup where all the oil will rise to the top. You know, water and oil don't mix, you know. So there is this water and oil kind of things, they don't mix. And it can bring up, you know, things bubbling up to the surface. And it can bring up some turmoil. It absolutely can. This is also a precursor to all the stuff that's going to be happening as we move more into the summer months. We're going to have these other big shifts this year. Well, for one, I know that Neptune is definitely moving into Aries, and Saturn will be moving into Aries. So there is this big energy of everything moving into Aries, which always is this new beginning and starts this old cycle. But we still have old stuff to finish up. Pisces, this is the 12th house. Aries rules the first house. It's the beginning of the wheel. It goes all the way around, and then we get to the 12th house, and that's the endings. So Pisces is always going to be the endings. It's what we need to finish up. When I do those soul readings, if you have a lot of placements in 12th house, or a lot of Pisces placements, or even a lot of placements at these higher degrees of 29 degrees, this is things that you have to finish up or chose to finish up in this incarnation. And I do have that soul reading that talks about past lives and your soul journey if anybody wants to look into it. Speaking of 29 degrees, look at the Venus is sandwiched right in between. We've been having this North Node and Neptune conjunction, okay, at the high degrees of, we're just going to say 29 degrees of Pisces, although it's 27. And now we're going to throw Venus is going to slide right in there. So this is a major point. And even, Saturn is getting up there too at 24. So we've got, this is a major focal point or a major energetic portal, you could say. Again, it's 29, no matter what the sign is, okay, no matter what the astrology sign is, every single time it starts at 0, and then it goes up to 29 degrees, and then it starts at 0 of the next sign. 0 to 29 throughout the whole cycle. Those are the degrees. So, and you can see it right here too. We have this 29 of, these two are conjunct, by less than a degree but they're in different signs. So it's this we're in this transitionary phase, okay? We're transitioning out of the old and we're entering into the new. But this is intense things here. This is karma calling is what my guides are saying. We've got Saturn in there, which is karmic. We've got the nodes in there, which is karmic. We've got 29 of Pisces, which is karmic, the last degree of the last sign of the whole zodiac. So we are, as a collective, finishing up major cycles. I know there's people out there that know a lot more about, that study, go back. I know we're ending the Cayuga or whatever it is. I'm not even sure. That's, these many thousands of years. I haven't really, looked up those dates, to be honest. I go more on intuition. But you don't even have to look up those dates and understand the bigger picture of it all. You can just look at this. There's these high degrees of Pisces. The high degrees are the last degree. So Pisces is the last degree of the zodiac. So it is this major finishing up cycle for all of us. And we're all on different phases of our journeys. Some of us, and a lot of this will depend on the houses that it's in, because now that this will be the last one for the Aries Libra, but even though we're going to have all these planets moving into Aries in the spring and summer, and there's other shifts happening too. There's other shifts in planets that are going to happen this year. I brought this up, at the beginning of the year. We could look at it again. So March 30th, Neptune goes into Aries. This is coming right the next day. I didn't even realize that. And then May 25th, Saturn goes into Aries. And then June 9th or 10th, Jupiter goes into Cancer. July 7th, Uranus goes into Gemini. So some of them, they're going to retrograde back in the fall. Fall, Northern Hemisphere fall anyway. But man, oh man, this is some intense shift and change. This is energy that you don't even have to be into astrology or intuitive or anything to feel that something new is giving birth. We're giving birth to this new paradigm. We're giving birth to this new, what I'm hearing is time warp. And it's true that time is just speeding up. I mean, isn't it? I know as you get older, and I'm getting in my older years here, I'm a crone now, that time speeds up. Because you've experienced it before. I always thought that, because I remember going on long trips with my family as a kid. And the ride there, it's just like, oh, are we there yet? It was so long, it was so long. But then the ride back was always faster, it seemed. Because you already knew, you already had the experience under your belt. So it is. I feel like it is true as you get older, time just starts whipping by. Or if even as a kid, if you could remember waiting for Christmas or waiting for some big event, it seemed like it was never going to come. Because time is longer when you're younger, but this is a whole different thing here. This is a whole different animal. It's the end of March of 2025. I mean, it's like a blink of an eye that we turn the corner into 2025, and we're already, more than a third of the way through, or whatever, a third of the way through. So time is speeding up. Things are speeding up. The new, the technology. There's so much about the technology. And now that Pluto is in Aquarius, things are speeding up even more. I didn't realize this was the next day. Well, obviously it's 29:58. It's going to be any day now, but it's going to be the next day that Neptune goes into Aries. So that's even more powerful, more powerful energy for turning these corners, making these new beginnings. Neptune is the planet of dreams and psychic and intuitive, and Neptune is of the water. It's the god of the water. It's diving in the deep end. And now it almost feels like he's coming off to the shore, and I see him like shaking off, like a dog would, or an animal when even a bird, they come out of the water and they shake off. They shake off all that water, and they've been cleansed. There's been a cleansing. They've had a bath. There's been a cleansing. They're new again. They're coming into this new vibration, this new energy. We're giving birth to the new paradigm. I mean, that's what my guides keep saying. While we're still swimming in the ocean of all this stuff here, because the rest of it's going to stay for a minute, we could be getting these very deep psychic, intuitive downloads, intense dreams, visitations in our dreams, visitations in our waking life. Be aware of those signs and symbols. That song, Neptune is music, those song lyrics, those songs that remind you of people that have passed on the other side. That's going to be so strong and prominent also during this time. The veil is very thin while we're immersed in this heavy-duty Piscean energy. I'm going to have to get a tissue and block up my ear. Hold on a second here. My ear's itching really bad because the neighbor likes to blast out toxic fumes out of their dryer vent at my window day and night. But it's funny too, because Neptune does rule over, it rules over poison and fumes and stuff. Yeah, so we could I don't really dive into a lot of that stuff usually, but there could be some kind of crazy thing like that happening. Let's hope not. Let's send prayers and energy, because this is the realm of that too, of prayers, of energy, and that is not in the physical. It's all things in the ether, in the ethers. It's floating. It's floating in the water. It's swimming to the depths. It's going to the depths of despair. But my guides are saying through the depths of despair comes the enlightenment. So sometimes you have to go really deep to have that big enlightenment, to have that big aha awakening. Even though it's a new moon, I feel so strongly about letting go. Well, I'm recording this, a few days after. I'm still feeling the effects of that last one, and that was very powerful. I definitely had some big aha moments and some big things that I've decided to let go. I realize that I must let go of. It's not even making a decision to let go of. It's being shown, being made aware that it's time to let go and release some of these things. So it's, again, with the dichotomy, it's the ending and the beginning. It's the ending and the beginning. But that is the never-ending cycle of life. Just look at we're moving into spring in the northern hemisphere, and we're seeing the different plants and buds are starting to come up out of the ground. But, after they've died over the winter, they die off over the winter, and then they come back in the spring anew. So that, even if you're in the southern hemisphere, this energy is very present because of the death, the ending and the beginning, the ending and the beginning. Again, never-ending cycle. All this stuff over here is coming into a big trine. It's particularly Saturn with the Mars down here at 22 of Cancer. The Mars had been retrograding for a long time. That felt really, I felt that one a lot. It was like a Mercury retrograde. But again, I have Mercury at 20 of Capricorn, so it was opposing my natal Mercury. I think that's why I had so many things go wrong with equipment, my car, my different equipment. It was like, it was like a Mercury retrograde on steroids with that Mars thing. But now Mars is moving direct, and it's on its way into Leo where it's going to be much more comfortable. I got one of those little gnats. Speaking of spring, I got those little bugs in my plants again. I'm going to have to get my fish gravel. If anybody gets those little bugs, I found out the best thing to do is put that fish gravel, that really fine gravel. You can get it at like Walmart or something for really cheap, like $5 for a big bag of it. And because what these little bugs are doing is they're laying their eggs in your plants. That's why you see them. So when you put that gravel in there, they can't. It's the best thing I've found. I got the little sticky things and all this other stuff and, you know, different things. But just putting gravel in there works great. I've heard people complaining about their bugs in their plants. So, just grab a bag of that. It's for fish tanks, actually. And so then, therefore, it's non-toxic to your plants, too, the kind that you get for fish tanks. So you get some of that, you put it in your plants, and, you know, eventually it sinks down the soil and cracks open up. It's been a few years since I've done it, and, you know, they're back, so I'm going to have to do that again. But what I was talking about was this Mars energy. You know, so the Mars energy is going for, Mars is drive, ambition, all these sorts of things. So the Mars can be the impetus to do something about it. You know, many times we get psychic downloads and messages all the time. It's always going on, but maybe we're looking at our device, or maybe we're thinking about our problems, or thinking about this and that. Instead of, you know, we just don't notice it. The universe is sending us messages all the time, you know, and we just don't notice it. Or maybe we do notice it, but it's just like, yeah, one of these days, yeah, that's on my bucket list, or one of these days, you know, sort of put on the back burner. With the Mars energy connecting in this way, it feels like, you know, this could be really the impetus to get something done. We could really take these ideas and run with them. We could really take these downloads and these messages and do something with them, instead of just ignoring, blowing them off, whatever, you know. We could get a lot accomplished. Because that's the thing about the Pisces energy. Super creative, super psychic, super intuitive, major insights, major deep knowing, and all this great, you know, it's so powerful and can be so profound and everything. But a lot of times, you know, or just like we have these deep, intense dreams, or perhaps if anybody does, you know, one of these ayahuasca journeys or something, you know, you have these big events. And it's so powerful when you first get out of it. But then, it's, you know, as we get back into our regular life and our regular routine. And because here's the other thing, the Virgo part of it, because that's the Pisces part of this whole, where we're going with the eclipses and where the nodes are going to be. So where the node is where we're heading with the collective. The North Node is the North. So, you know, we get these big, profound things, but then we get back into our everyday life, and, oh, I got to pick the kids up, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to go grocery shopping, where's my list, you know, blah, 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 blah. Because that's all the realm of Virgo. Virgo's very thorough, making lists, getting the job done, attending to tasks. And with Saturn involved, you know, Saturn is the taskmaster too, you know, so let's not lose sight of, well, with all this energy, you know, we can maybe hold on to it a little longer. Maybe we can do something with it. Maybe we can create something that is Saturn, very long-lasting. Saturn's very long-lasting. I'm looking at the aspectarian. Wow, look at all the conjunct. I mean, it's just conjunct. That's what, if you're not familiar, that's what this is. That's a conjunction. That's what these symbols are here. And man, they're just dot, 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 dot. And, you know, there's some moon, there's a couple things to the MC for this chart, just to really disregard that. And other than conjunctions, we have trines and sextiles. So, you know, actually pretty nice energy. Yeah, the Uranus is sextiling all this stuff too. So Uranus wants to be free. Uranus wants to take things to the next level. The Uranus wants to enliven, and enlighten. So Uranus being in there is a vibe. You know, it's creating a vibe too. It's contributing to the energy. Uranus wants to look at things in a new way. In the sign of Taurus, it's a little rough because Tauruses are pretty set in their ways. You know, they're a fixed sign. They're pretty steady and solid all the time. So they're not so much open to, not always so much open to seeing things in a new way. But with the Uranian energy being in Taurus, how it can work together is the Uranus wants to see things in a new way, and Taurus is like, okay, well, let's ground it and make it a reality. Because just like I was saying with the Pisces energy, Uranus can be that way too, where it's just so far out there that it really, there's no bridge to connect. Uranus is way up here in the ethers, and we're way down here on the earth. Hello, Uranus. We're waving. Hello, Uranus. I see you up there. But it's a long way. Oh, they're giving me a song, and I can't quite grab it. It's a long, long way to something, something, and I don't want to go, maybe. I'm not getting it. But it's a long, long way, that's for sure. And, you know, then, so there's that, and then there's the astral plane, where we go in our dreams, and we can connect with this higher energy. We can meet on the astral plane. Hello everybody, I'm dreaming on the astral plane, and hello, I'm your loved one who's passed on, and I'm your spirit guide, and we're all hanging out here in the middle in the astral plane. But the actual jump from there to there is huge. You know, it's unheard of, pretty much. But with Taurus being here in the ground and the astral plane being up here, there can be a bridge. There can be a bridge to connect these very high, higher than ever before. Because the planet is ascending. The planet is ascending. You know, I don't know if this is old news, but it always when I first heard about it, it was like, oh wow, that's so cool. You know, we all know that the planet, with Earth and all the planets, we go around the sun and all that stuff. But we always tend to see it more as like a flat, a flat thing. But that's not how it really is. We're not the sun. So here's the sun. We're not forever just going around the sun, And the sun is also ascending. And so it's a spiral. We're following the sun, and we're spiraling upward. Or maybe not upward, but we're not. It's, you know, you see even remember those things used to make like out of, for science class, like out of ping pong balls and stuff or whatever, you know, these models, and they have these kind of things where they have there's these planets, here's the sun, and those things that move around, and they have the planets on them and stuff like that, like a mobile almost. But then the sun is stagnant. The sun is not stagnant. We're moving in a spiral. So we're all traveling through this ascension journey, even with the sun as well. The sun is ascending or moving. You know, it's definitely moving. So it's a journey. You know, it's definitely a journey. We are not stagnant. We are not, I'll turn my head for a second. I hope you guys can hear me. I just wanted to grab my smudge stick. I feel like I have to smudge a little. You know, we are not stagnant in this universe. We are moving on a trail of light and advancement, and you know, it's pretty mind-boggling to really fathom the whole thing. You know, or even like I'm sure you guys have seen those where they back out. You know, they show you, here's you on Earth, and then they back out, and here's you in the universe, and here's you in the Milky Way, and they keep backing out till Earth is just this little tiny speck, you know. So there's so much happening out there as part of the grand scheme of things, and these times that we're in, we're becoming aware of that. You know, many of us have been on the. Ooh, this thing's catching on fire. Hold on a second. You know, many of us that have been on the spiritual path for a long time, you know, we have, we've been aware of that. I think we've been aware of that as a concept. You know, it's a concept, as an idea. But these times that we're in, it's as if we're really feeling it. And like I said about the time passing, can anybody believe it's the end of March already? I mean, it was like a blink of an eye that we just turned the corner to 2025. I just can't even. Time is speeding up. Things are speeding up. So many things are happening that, you know, you would have never thought in your lifetime that would happen. You know, so many things. I mean, just look at the advancements. And if we, it all comes down to, if we want to take our seat at the table, we have to be on an energetic compatibility. We can't reach those higher dimensions and those higher technologies and all the wonderful things that it holds for us and all the wonderful things that we as a soul incarnate plan to be a part of. We all have these big plans when we incarnate, and we all go off the track. Every single one of us does. Nobody sticks to their soul's journey 100%, I don't think. We all veer off the trail, we all veer off the road, we all go in these other directions. We all get caught up in the human condition, so to speak. But, we did come here with a plan. We came here with our individual plan and the karma. These are things, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, that is the stuff that I do look at in the soul journey reading. I can dive into that for you. But we also come as part of a collective. And these eclipses and these big, these big moments, these big shifting moments that we're in right now, shifting tides, my guys are saying. These are our collective. What the heck is in this smudge that's burning? It smells really funky. There must have been a little bit of something else caught in here. But anyways, let me put it over here. So, just keep calm and carry on, I've been feeling this really, even though it's all Aries, 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 spark, spark, go, go, do, fire, fire, it's all, I have this real, it came over me the last couple of days, like a few days after the full moon eclipse. I just have this sense of calm and peace that has set in. And, I don't really know where it came from or what it is, but it feels like we're the Pisces energy, I'm blanketed in this sense of calm, and there's so much chaos going on in the world and on social media. And, I've even started to go on social media a little bit again. I was definitely staying away from it, other than just going to the groups that I'm interested in. But I've even been going on social media again a little, and it's just not affecting me. It just feels like, at least me personally, like I've crossed some kind of a threshold. I mean, maybe I can maintain it, maybe I can't. In the past, judging from past, there's been times when I've had this sense of peace, but then I, fall back into, it happens. You go forward, you make a lot of progress, and then you take a couple steps backwards, and then you make more progress, and then you take a couple. But each time, you're getting a little bit further and further and further on your journey. But I've been in this really, really peaceful place here lately, and I like it. This is the place I want to be. And we can all use this Piscean energy. I know this is Aries, 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 but we can use this Piscean energy. We can bridge, talking about bridges, we can bridge this whole Piscean to Aries vibration. We can make this the new normal, or this the new paradigm. We can bring this sense of peace into this new paradigm that the Aries energy is ushering in. We can learn our lessons, because you gain wisdom from the 12th house and the Pisces energy because of what your trials and tribulations and what you've been through. Hopefully you gain wisdom. Hopefully you're not repeating the same thing over and over again that got you into that state of that frenzy or whatever you want to call it in the first place, Hopefully you can carry that peace over from the dream or the journey, the shamanic journey, or even the spiritual journey that you went on, or whatever happened, Instead of getting back into this getting yourself all tied in knots and all, stay in that flow, stay in that peace, stay grounded in the peaceful energy, because it's available to us. It's available to us all. All right, well, we could talk forever. I mean, I could talk forever. There's so much here, and there's so much going on, but I feel like that's the message for me for today on this, the new moon eclipse in Aries. But it's just really like an energy update of the whole vibe that's happening right now. Hey, I do have that Aries Ingress reading. It's still available also till the end of the month. So I do this every year. It is a powerful reading. So we look at the Aries Ingress and the planets in the Aries Ingress as it affects your natal chart. It's one of the few astrology charts that readings that I offer. I don't usually offer an astrology chart reading. It's more tarot and a little bit of astrology on the side, kind of a thing. This is one of the only times where I run your chart, and I may do one for the solstice, but the Aries Ingress, it is the astrological new year. But because we can't look at the Aries Ingress of this year without looking at the eclipses, I'm also including the eclipses in the reading. Well, actually, I include any big transits you're having, honestly, but I definitely make a point to look at the eclipses, look at where this new nodal axis is going to be affecting you in your particular chart, and it's one of those. It's the second most popular reading. The year ahead is always the most popular, but the Aries Ingress is always a popular reading. So if you're wondering, how these energies might affect you, you can check that out. Any of the readings I offer, always you're going to have to look for it on my website. There's so many imposters out there messaging through social media. That is not me. I will never message you through social media about a reading. You have to go through my website, and you can go to the readings tab and see the different readings that I offer, and you can order there. That is the only way. Okay, so just be aware of that. Not only with me, but for anybody on YouTube. I mean, there's so many imposters out there. That's another thing that's the downside. Of course, the Pisces energy. The upside is the fish swimming upward, and it's the spiritual enlightenment and all the stuff I'm talking about. But then there's also this fish that swims downward, right? And that is deception, top of the list, okay? This could be illusions and deceptions. This can be those imposters, illusions, deceptions. It can be that escaping reality. It can be mental illness. It can be drug abuse and things like that, alcoholism, drug abuse. So, we've got to be aware of those things as well. But you have the free will to use the energy always. In any way, you can harness this energy, and you can use it as you see fit. And if it's been your pattern in the past to fall into despair, even, because the downward side of the Pisces energy can certainly be despair. Fall into despair, fall into illusion, fall into a sense of hopelessness, even. That can be a part of the Pisces energy. You have the ability, and maybe if that is the tendency, or that is the vibe, that it's how it might seem to be affecting you, if you are feeling in that vibe, that's the good thing about this Aries energy being so active also, because that can propel you into new things, a new way of using the energy, taking charge of the situation, and directing your life in the way you want it to go. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you're making it through these transits. Again, if you want to get a reading from me, I have other readings too, but astrology-wise, I have the Soul's Journey reading, which is all this deep stuff. And then I have that Aries Ingress. Again, you won't see another astrology reading from me. Maybe we'll have a check-in at the solstice, but that's not going to include the eclipses and all this other stuff. Okay, so check it out if you're interested. If not, thanks for tuning in today. Please do hit the like and subscribe buttons. I still have the trolls out there. The minute this video goes live, there's going to be several people that are going to push the thumbs down. Or maybe it's some kind of automated thing. I don't know, but it continues to happen. So please counteract it. If you do enjoy the content, please do hit the thumbs up. It costs nothing. Subscribing costs nothing. And it does help, promote my channel and get the word out there, get my news out there, everybody. All right, have a great one. Hold tight to your dreams. That's what my guides want for a final message. Hold tight to your highest aspirations and dreams. And we'll be back again soon with another reading. Till then, talk to you later.